Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a civ that I really have a hard time rating, Lautaro and the Mapuche. Remember, if you find this video helpful or enjoyable, please leave me a like to help me get more exposure to the algorithm and help grow our community a little bit. The Mapuche have a bunch of abilities that push you towards domination and culture, and the civilization ability Toki was buffed in the April patch a few years ago. It gives cities with governors 5% culture and production, and 10% experience to combat to units trained in that city. Governors also give a +4 swing to your city's loyalty within 9 tiles. This is both an offensive and defensive swing, and the governor yields are tripled in cities that you yourself didn't found. Can you tell that this civ came out in Rise and Fall when governors and loyalty was introduced? The governor thing's pretty cool. You can get pretty decent cities if you stack Kilwa and do various things, and the loyalty, the -4 loyalty to cities nearby, as well as the +4 loyalty to your city stacks with multiple governors. So you can get -8 loyalty per turn, which is pretty strong on a lot of civs, a lot of cities in the area. If you combine this with Swift Hawk, Lautaro's ability, which gives you 10 combat strength versus civs in a golden age or heroic age, or versus free cities, as well as a +20 loyalty swing or a 40 loyalty swing to a golden age civ when you kill units in a city's boundaries, and you can kind of see the game plan here. You're supposed to expand in the mid-game, taking out those larger civs and golden ages, and using governors to exert loyalty issues onto the AI. Rinse and repeat, using your newly established governors to keep you caught up in culture and get cores and armies and production to produce those cores and armies. And this is the dream scenario. Your other uniques sort of keep up this catch up and conquer theme. Chimamuls are unique improvements that have to be built on breathtaking tiles, but they give you a percentage of that tile's appeal as culture, meaning you can stack pretty high Chimamuls if you district properly, like holy sites, theater squares, they give you appeal to local area. And Liang can give you appeal with city parks. This is eventually going to give you tourism, but it's not enough, I think, to make you a culture victory monster. I'll talk more about that later, but I feel like Chimamuls are not the culture victory thing, they're just a catch-up mechanic. You also get +1 production, which is kind of negligible, really. And I think of these, like I said, more as an early game culture boost that you get to get those cards out nice and early. Your new unique unit, the Malon Rider, is another catch-up mechanic. You get bonus strength for fighting within 4 tiles of your territory. But more importantly, you can pillage for 1 movement point, and that's pretty cool. Pillaging is always pretty strong in this game, and pillaging with the card to give you extra pillage yields and stuff, and using Malon Raiders to pillage half of an empire in 2 or 3 turns, it's really going to give you a lot of slingshotted yields back into your civilization. This also weakens city defenses if you're pillaging districts, but again, this is a catch-up mechanic, like I said. All of this shows my real problem with the Mapuche. Every mechanic they have is a catch-up mechanic, and you don't really want to lose all of your abilities when you take the lead in the game. You want to win more. You want to slingshot past the civs and continue that forward trajectory, but with Lautaro you kind of lose out there. Domination wins are often the type of game where you're the most far ahead. So you're going to lose out on your abilities pretty quickly, and that's not even mentioning the fact that you're dependent on the AI to do well. And the AI often doesn't do well. You want to be in golden ages, and you don't want the AI to be in golden ages in most games, but in Lautaro's games you want them to be in golden ages, and being perfectly honest, they very often aren't in golden ages. You want them to have tons of units to let your cities flip over, but you also don't want to wade through a ton of units and lose your own units, and often the AI doesn't build enough units to flip their own cities with. When playing as the Mapuche, I take a standard domination start, spread out to 2 or 3 cities, and start to produce a ton of archers, a battering ram, and either spearmen, or heroes and vampires depending on my game mode. But I will always take a big detour with them. The Mapuche have a mountain bias, which is a rare bias in the game. I think it's only the Mapuche and the Inca, I could be wrong. but it is rare, and you will probably get a great campus or a really great holy site to leverage to help you catch up early. I try to focus a bit more on archers than melee units at first, because I want to kill the AI's units and not really be attacking into their cities. If I can kill 6 to 7 units in 2 to 3 turns, that's usually enough to flip a low population city over to my culture. Put in a governor and then take the nearest city. At this point, the AI probably doesn't have any more units, so I can't actually use that AI, like the minus loyalty to killing units bonus anymore. Most of the time when I fight a war, the AI has about 10 units really by the time that I'm worried about how much units they have. And one city is what that'll give you. So rinse and repeat, move your governors, work those cities instead of your capital, go on and on and on. Lautaro is a domination leader, but you don't get strong domination traits. But you do get bonus loyalty, which is always nice and useful in a domination game. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Culture is your backup. Chimamals are a great source of culture, but I find that they don't give as much tourism as national parks do, and they often get in the way of my national parks. So 6 out of 10. Religion is a weird situation for the Mapuche. You get no profit bonus, but your apostles and missionaries shred Golden Age apostles and missionaries. But this situation happens kind of rarely, if we're being honest, so 5 out of 10 here as well. Science is your next decent option, but you need to do a domination science hybrid, and if you're on the road to domination anyway, just do domination. Any civ can do a domination science hybrid game. You do get production, and you have a nice mountain range bias, so you will get a strong science start, so 5 out of 10 here. As always, just avoid Diplo victories. However, Lautaro does get production bonuses, and you'll probably be the target of an emergency or two, and you could get a few good points that way, but I just don't like it. 3 out of 10. The Mapuche would be better if they had more bonuses to that first war, an earlier unique unit or a unique barracks or something other than that. And when they work, the Mapuche feel really unique and different for the first war or two. It's just that the AI aren't good enough to have these abilities work in your favor often enough. The Mapuche, like Gilgamesh, are much more of a multiplayer civ, and I give them a D tier rating. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.